to the Purple Rock, the long-rumored Survivor podcast, featuring Judge Reinhold, myself, and my co-host. Andy, why don't you introduce yourself here?
I think you just did. My name's Andy Sayers, and I am sometimes known by the nickname I gave myself, Andy the Saint.
Wow, you went real name on there. And I did too, coincidentally. I really am Judge Reinhold.
Yeah, well, when you're waiting for, Beverly Hills Cop 4 to finally be a reality, you make Survivor podcasts. That's what we assume.
I just sit by my phone every day saying, Eddie, come on, give me that call. It never happens. All right, so let's get right into it. First of all, as I mentioned, long rumored and long discussed, joked about, mocked Survivor podcast. And basically, let's go into how this came about, first of all, because it really is pretty sad.
Yeah, I want everybody listening to know that we know this is ridiculous, what we're doing here, but at this point, we kind of just had to do it.
Yeah. Basically, it was sort of like the series of escalating dares in Arrested Development with Job and Crindy.
Wow, you knew her name.
It just got to the point, of course, yeah, the one with the big jugs. So it basically just got to a level where we were making so many jokes about it that it got to be less ironic joking and more like, you know what, maybe we really should just do it. And then it got to the point that we could no longer back out. And
yeah, it was like, ha ha ha, if we did a podcast, we could talk about this and then this and then this. Oh no, but I don't have a microphone. Oh, I bet they're available on the internet.
Yeah, I think that conversation basically went, I may or may not be buying a microphone today.
And then I'm like,
and so,
I guess we're doing it.
Yep. And that's the story of the sad existence of this podcast and how it came to be. But
I think we should clarify, because I know throughout this podcast we're going to have just the chemistry of lifelong friends, but this, in fact, is the very first time we've ever talked to each other.
Yeah, we had a full 5 minutes of prep before this came up, during which we said things like mic test, and we really just... Our banter was so witty and clever that we were like, okay, yeah, we're good. 5 minutes, that's it. We're good.
Oh yeah, we already have subscribers on iTunes based on that mic test. But yeah. So basically, how we met is we both enjoy the show Survivor. That's probably obvious. And we read.
One would hope.
And we read about it, or we read recaps and comment on the AV Club, TV Club message boards, which is one of the few sane places on the internet I found to talk about this. It's basically the only place that I talk about it, other than now into a microphone for podcast purposes. And do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I also talk about it to my wife, but it's way less embarrassing when you talk about it to the internet.
Yeah, I know. I talked about it or at it with my wife and doing lots of mansplaining and stuff. So
yeah,
it's nice to have other people
exactly.
that show, oh, I'm not alone. And I should add, I'm not a reality TV... Look at how defensive I sound. I'm not a reality TV junkie. Like, this is the show. And I enjoy it because it combines drama with mostly the sports-type aspect. I love the strategy. And so, yeah, we both kind of talked about that, and probably too much, but whatever. It's the internet, and, I don't work that hard at my job. And then we started...
Likewise.
We started talking on Twitter, and here we are.
Yeah. And I like how you sounded like the girl on the first date who's like, I don't normally do this. With your excuses for why you watch Survivor.
Oh, yeah. I don't just put out a podcast for any old commenter on the internet.
That's right, yeah. It's not just any old reality competition show that we'll do this for.
That's right. But wait till you see
only you,
the Slop, My Big Brother podcast. Then you'll know. Slop, that's the thing they do, right? I don't
I wouldn't even know. I barely am aware of Big Brother's existence, which sort of leads right into the upcoming season of Survivor, which features, I believe for the first time ever, I wouldn't really know because, again, I don't watch Big Brother, but the first ever Big Brother contestant on the show.
It is. This is the first crossover between those two shows. Amazing Race has served as kind of a go-between for the two, but never have they gone directly from 1 to 2. This could open up some really exciting avenues. Maybe some survivors will go over to Big Brother and we won't watch them there.
I was just going to say, I anxiously await never recording or watching that or discussing it on the internet.
Except in the sense like, oh, Malcolm.
Yeah.
Malcolm, what happened? Really, Big Brother, Malcolm?
Sort of sad head shake and just the face palm, sigh into the hand move. Like, oh, how the mighty have fallen.
So, Blood versus Water. This is a season that has so many twists that, is it still Survivor?
You know what? And here's my TiVo nerd moment. I got incredibly excited that they now just named the show Survivor on TiVo, so you don't have to change your TiVo recorder season pass every season.
That's a good note. So, I actually have to, because I delete it after every year, so I'll have to check that. Although, way up in the frozen north where I live, we don't really have TiVo with your fancy technology.
Yeah, hey, by the way, we should point out, this is an international Survivor
That's
podcast.
Right. Probably the only one, I imagine.
Well, not only is it the only Survivor podcast on the internet, it's the only international Survivor podcast on the internet.
Well, honestly, because I'm Canadian, this is actually as close as they'll let me get to the show. So they won't actually accept any, I can't apply to be on the show or anything like that because they know that if they put a Canadian in a social-based game, we would just win.
Yeah. And to be fair, I'm an American, and this is also as close as they'll let me go to the show.
No. We're gonna study, and we're gonna figure out what we need to do to get Judge Reinhold on the show. You think
that's right.
They were just excited about like Tootie from the Fracks of Life or whatever. You'd think they'd want Judge Reinhold.
Man. I mean, listen, Jimmy Johnson, Gary Hogaboom. Was her name Tootie? I don't even remember.
No, I don't think it was Tootie, actually. But
yeah.
Blair.
Yeah, Blair. Joe? It wasn't Joe. She was the butch one. Anyway, come on. When are you going to get a celebrity bigger than Judge Reinhold, really?
They haven't yet.
And plus, I mean, who's going to come in with my strategy, which is really just to make friends? I mean, that'd be why I'm there. I'm pretty sure that strategy's never been taken on the show. So it's a clear winner. Okay,
so we should have planned this out before, but that's the tagline of the Purple Rock podcast. We're here to make friends.
Oh, that's a win. That's our catchphrase. I like
it. It is. All right, so you read up on the twists of Survivor this season?
I have.
What do you think of the blood versus water concept? So if anybody's listening to this somehow and doesn't know about what they're doing this Survivor, stop and reassess your life. But if you don't, the basic thing is...
You've made it 8 minutes in and you're just now thinking, wait a minute, this is about the show Survivor? Now's the time to hit...
So basically, the blood would be returning survivors that theoretically a few people care about. And then the water, even though that's not exactly how the phrase works, is what they call family members, although plenty of these people are not actually family members. So basically, it's a returnees versus loved ones season.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
You know what? It's kind of a cool thing to say, like, I wish they would stop with so many returnees. I don't really mind it, other than the fact that it, keeps my chances at getting on the show a little bit lower, because, some slots get filled by the returnees. But other than that...
Now you know that you should have married a survivor.
Oh, I really should have. Is Tyson still single, though?
Well, possibly at the end of this season he might be.
You know what? That's a good point. We'll get to that, though. Anyway, yeah, overall, I don't mind the returnees. The concept of the returnees, I should clarify, because the specific returnees I may have a problem with this season, with one pretty obvious exception.
Yeah, so I think I'm kind of with you on the returnee seasons. I know there's always a lot of belly aching whenever, give new people a chance. And maybe it's because, again, I'm barred from being accepted on the show, and that's what I'm going to stick to, and not because I'm thoroughly average in many ways. But I don't get that. It's like... do these people watch Breaking Bad and get pissed that, Jesse's still on the show? I mean, we meet these characters, we invest in them, and then it's like, yay, they're back. I kind of treat normals like non-returnee seasons, which, okay, those are kind of rare now, but I treat those as the feeder system to the returnee system.
Yeah, it's basically your minor leagues. It's your developmental squads.
Which, ultimately, I think Survivor does have to do some rebuilding, because, wow, this cast is kind of thin on star power.
I think this season kind of proves that the talent pool is getting a little thin.
Now, it's possible that this is an aberration due to the twist of the season. That it wasn't just about finding the 10 or 20 best former survivors. They also had to find loved ones that were worth putting on camera, yada yada. So what do you think about the family aspect of this season?
I will say the one thing that is solidly in favor of that, no Hanses.
Yeah, I was shocked. When the first thing, like everybody else, I hear Survivor's doing a loved ones one. When Reality Blur guy tweeted it out or whatever, it's like,
Yep.
God, it's all Hanses all the time.
I assume there would be at least 4 of them.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah, I would not have been surprised if there were 6.
Who knows how many Hanses there are? But maybe that's why they're just holding out for an all-Hans season. But I have a feeling that maybe we finally seen the last of them. That Ding Dong, the dwarves are dead. I don't.
That would be amazing. I judging by the fact that they brought Colton back, though, you never know.
Yeah.
Although
Johnny Fairplay,
anyway,
same deal. I guess there's no bridge you can burn other than quitting.
Yeah, that is very true. If only Russell had quit. Actually, you know what? I won't shit on Russell too much. I will say that of the Hanses, I would much rather have Russell back because as annoying as he may be, the guy clearly loves the game. Brandon Hance is just unstable and makes for annoying reality trash TV.
Yeah. Well, it was, I mean, last season was just a mess. And it wasn't like
Yes.
his first season was much better. I mean, the first season after, the crazy, hateful women stuff, you almost started to feel bad for the kid because clearly he's just damaged.
Exactly.
Ugh.
And a reality competition is not the venue for him to shine.
No.
Let's put it that way.
And sometimes you have to tell Probst that. I almost think like he feels like legitimately like Survivor is a place where people can be healed and grow. But no, it's a cutthroat psychological experiment where people have to vote out people they come to care for.
Yeah, and the thing is, at the final tribal, everybody says this was an amazing experience for me. I've grown so much, learned so much about myself. They say that because it sounds way worse than, listen, I'm saying whatever I can to get you to give me $1 million. It sounds nicer if you say, like, this was a transformative experience for me, rather than, hey, dumbass that I voted out 3 weeks ago, give me $1 million vote right now.
Yeah, I've basically spent this entire time figuring out how I can betray you all. But no, I grew as a person. And I was here to make friends.
Right. Yeah. I'm the one.
Yeah. So I will say for this season, I mean, I'm not excited about the whole, rending of garments, Rupert, I'm going to have to defeat my wife stuff. Like that aspect and that drama they so clearly desperately want, I could do without. But what I do think could be very interesting is for the first time ever, people are going to be playing for things other than what's immediately going on with their own personal alliance. There might be some like across the aisle considerations and strategy, and I think that could be very interesting.
Agreed. I mean, there's a nice little wrinkle there. One of the twists being that you can take your loved one's place in the Redemption Island challenge, which is a nice, interesting wrinkle, especially because if I'm understanding it right, you take their place and then the person whose place you took comes back to your tribe rather than going to their own tribe.
Correct.
So that's an interesting wrinkle.
Yeah. A wrinkle to one of the worst things the show's ever done, which is Redemption Island.
And listen, that thing needed some wrinkles because it was not a stellar performer its first 2 go-rounds.
No, so I guess this is as good a time as any to discuss Redemption Island because we just did. Why is Redemption Island so terrible?
I think the thing is that the theory sounds so good because, especially initially, it made sense. They're like, all right, we got Rob and Russell. They're going to be huge targets. People are going to vote them out. We got to have some fail-safe, basically.
Which is exactly why it was invented.
Exactly why it was invented. Probst probably would even admit as much. But the problem that we ran into with that is it just, if the show were 90 minutes, it would be fine. But it eats up so much show time, and then they start cutting back on reward challenges and camp life and the sort of things that would make the show more enjoyable. Just makes it harder to follow the storyline, basically.
Yeah, I mean, the show has basically set a template over 300 seasons or whatever that we spend some time in this camp, and we spend some time in this camp, challenge, camp, challenge, final camp, tribal council. And Redemption Island just mucks up the whole deal.
Yes, exactly.
And then here's another problem. What if somebody won the game having spent all that time on Redemption Island? And it almost happened. Ozzy would have won had he have won the final challenge.
Yes, he would have, and I'm very glad that didn't happen.
Yes, because it would feel illegitimate, wouldn't it?
It really would. It would. Honestly, it would be the Lil winning the Pearl Island season.
Yes.
Like, if that had happened, it's basically that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a slightly bit less because, like, I guess they were sitting away and, like, not playing anything. At least the Redemption Island they're kind of playing. But they're not playing Survivor. Sure. They're playing survival, maybe, to a degree. And the survival aspects, I think it's somewhat necessary because this can't be Big Brother. But it's not the most interesting part. I don't care how well people fish or build shelters or whatever. It's a fun little add-on maybe, but yeah, those people at Redemption Island are now freed from strategy and don't have to bear the consequences of the final.
Yeah, basically the survival aspect is just so you can get an idea of how hot people look as they get skinnier and skinnier, and then get a little disturbed when you're looking at someone who looks like she weighs maybe 80 pounds, and you're going, you know what? She looks better than when she first got out there.
I could use some more malnutrition in my life.
Exactly. She looks great with no calcium. So, anyway, where were we?
Redemption Island, why it sucks, thesis.
So, basically, Redemption Island, not my favorite twist. I do like the gameplay twist of letting the loved one take the place, though. I mean, I feel like that kind of helps, just because I know an easy exploit that if I were playing, the first vote is Rupert's wife, because Rupert will always take the vote.
Yeah, I mean, even if he doesn't want to, it's part of the myth of Rupert that he is so interested in protecting, that he must be the hero.
He is compelled. Yes.
Which we saw in Heroes vs. Villains.
Over and over. I have never heard someone say hero more in my entire life. You would have thought that he personally, like, prevented 9/11.
By stealing shoes on a pirate-themed season.
Exactly.
But yeah, so right, I think that could be very interesting. I think it'll be interesting to see if anybody does use it strategically. Didn't really seem like there was a lot of strategy to Redemption Island before. Well, I guess there was Ozzy's, I'm going to vote myself out plan, which was kind of dumb.
Yes.
And I wonder how timid Redemption Island made people in the past, and maybe this little twist will change it. In that we can't vote out Rob because he's not actually going to get voted out. Right.
And then plus we've kind of mentioned this elsewhere, but this really does set up the ultimate possible scenario for me, which is Tyson being asked by his girlfriend to take his place and then saying, "No, I'm good.
Right.
You stay there." Yeah.
You have a good time.
Thanks, but no thanks. Yep. I like my spot.
I already voted myself out of this game once.
Yeah. I've already blown it once. I don't need to do it again.
So yeah, I mean, I'm pretty relaxed about Survivor twists and all of that before I see them. I mean, there's a certain level of commenter, and this is shocking because on the internet most people are level-headed, but that's reflexively hates anything that happens before they see it.
Yeah.
So,
people hate
change.
Yes.
So, and which is ridiculous because if you want to see a show that barely changes, try to watch Amazing Race still. Like, one of the great things about Survivor is that it has managed to refresh itself over, I think it's actually 26 is the number.
You know what? I think we're higher than that now. Aren't we at like 28?
Maybe, I don't know.
We are clearly Survivor experts.
I just don't do numbers.
That's true. I do for a living.
You haven't even seen Panama.
That's true, I haven't. That's the thing, too, is that the Heroes vs. Villains is what brought me back. I was out on Survivor for a while. So, gimmick twists, occasionally they work.
And if they don't, hopefully they know when to drop them. One thing I really hope for Redemption Island, and maybe this will be the last we can say about it because I'm making the decision, is I just hope that they don't carry it on to, like, the final 5.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it, you got to end it soon enough that those people still have to play Survivor.
I like the idea of hit it to the merge. Once you hit merge, that's it. You're done. No more.
All right. So what's your basic impression of this cast?
Well, I'm looking at them right now. Obviously, I have a soft spot or a hard spot for Tyson and his girlfriend. Why not?
Sure. She clearly has good taste.
Clearly. I'm openly soliciting for a third in that relationship. Other than that, the Jervis pick is interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people were clamoring for Jervis to come back.
What would be awesome, and this might be even too deep Survivor geekery, is if he wore like a red X shirt. the Legend of Jervis X.
Oh, that would be so good.
But I'm not sure he's aware that was even a thing. Like, I don't know how much Jervis even knows about Survivor. I'm not convinced he's watched it since he was on it.
I wouldn't be surprised if he hadn't watched it since he was on it.
Which could hurt him because it bears barely any resemblance. Basically, they still vote people out and Probst is still there. But, like...
The game is so drastically
especially
different.
from the one that, like, he and his tribe were playing. His tribe was basically real-world Survivor. Like, they were just hanging out and, like, it's time to get real. And then the other tribe was like, no, let's play a game.
It really was the true story of 10 strangers picked to live together on an island.
Like, they wouldn't even discuss votes. Wouldn't that be awesome if, like, that's what happens, like, this first episode? They're all getting together, it's like, hey, Jervis, who should we vote out? It's like, I'm not telling. But you're in my alliance. Yeah. Oh, no, alliances are evil.
If you need any proof of how far the show has come, there was a player on the first season who voted in alphabetical order.
Why didn't they bring him back? Maybe he said no, and then they went to Jervis. Oh, poor Dr. Sean.
Yeah, poor Sean. All right, well, but moving on, I think obviously the quote-unquote controversial candidate to bring back is Colton. I have to make a very timid defense of Colton here, only because I actually did listen to him on Rob Has a Podcast, and the guy really does know a lot about Survivor.
He won their Jeopardy game, right?
He did, and it wasn't close. It was kind of like Ken Jennings versus a fourth grader. He was just dominant, and so he clearly has a savant level Survivor knowledge. Still, total douchebag his first time around.
Yeah, it's like,
so it's
by bringing him back, you're kind of like almost encouraging people to be future Coltons. And that's not a good idea.
Exactly. Right. Same concept as the bringing Hans back thing. That was just not a good idea. Yeah. Other than that, I mean, I think we're all tired of Rupert at this point.
I think the survivors are tired of Rupert.
I do too, and we'll get to that in a later topic, I'm sure. But Tina, that's I guess an interesting
Tina
choice.
What's nice about Tina is she could tie like either of the most like the vaunted Survivor records. She could pull a Sandra and be the only second 2-time winner, or she could pull a Francesca.
She could go either way. It's really. It's exciting.
She'll be exciting the first episode, and then it won't be. So
yeah, until the last episode. Aris, I never saw. He's the lone.
Yeah, so this is where I'll speak up. I think Aris, I'm glad to see him back. I've seen every episode of Survivor, only once though. I don't rewatch. I'm not that kind of dork. I'm the dork that makes a podcast. But
yes,
he wasn't the standout performer of Panama, which is why he hasn't come back before. That would be Suri or. Suri again, I guess. Or Terry. There's a guy, Terry, who was kind of like a Tom Westman 2.0, who just went on a big immunity tear, but wasn't all that strategic. But Aris was a pretty decent winner. He was kind of like he was good at everything. He was a good social player. People liked him. He's athletic, but not intimidatingly so, because he's kind of a yoga dude. He's kind of reasonably intelligent. So those things were good, but still, it was never like I was clamoring like, where's Aris? But he's become a Rob Has a Podcast kind of regular, and I've listened to him like just last year.
I will say that I don't listen to Rob Has a Podcast enough to.
Yeah, I don't work very hard is the thing at work. So yeah, no, I mean likewise, actually, I let the Aris one sit there. That's how uninterested I was in Aris. But I listened to his one from last year, and it was like 2.5 hours long. I think my wife was having a hard time putting the kids to sleep, and I wasn't helping because I was upstairs listening. And he seems like he has a really good handle on the game. Like he thinks about it strategically. So I think he could do some damage. I'm actually interested in seeing what he can do. So for me, it's Tyson is the great personality they brought back. I think Aris, I think she could be fun. And the rest to be like, hey, let's wait and see. And some of the loved ones look like they're hot young ladies. But you raised one, timid and tepid defense of Colton. I'm going to give another.
Okay.
I think he actually did somewhat learn from his experience. Like, he's done interviews where he seems like, yes, I was embarrassed by what I did. It was disgusting. So...
That is a very solid impression.
I know, look at me. You're Judge Reinhold, and I'm another impersonator man who I can't think of right now. But he was 20 years old. Like, what he did was disgusting. It was one of the most hateful performance. It was Big Brother-esque, from what I understand.
It really was. It's right up there with the brain enhance. I mean, it's that same level of just like, oh, come on, this is not the show I'm signing up to watch.
Yeah, and especially because his machinations, while I think you can defend them actually for him, kind of ruined the game.
They really did.
So, I mean, I wasn't lining up to have Colton back, but I think if it was true, if he kind of learned from his experience, seeing himself on TV, saying just horrible things, and it sounds like he said even more racist stuff that they didn't show.
Oh, great.
Maybe he has grown, and maybe he has matured. And you know what? Good for him, but I don't need him on my show.
Right.
So
Agreed.
Since we're talking about Colton, we can probably move on to our next topic. And who do you think is the first person going to be voted out?
Okay, so one of the twists this season, which we actually didn't mention, is the day one. They've actually done this before to an extent, but without a Redemption Island gimmick. I'm going to have two people immediately voted out, one from each side, the returnees and their loved ones. I think there's some very, very clear targets for this, and I'm guessing that you're going to second my opinions on this. Colton and possibly Rupert are the biggest returning targets for that first vote. Just, I mean, sight unseen, if they don't even get to say a word to each other, those are the two targets. I actually think because Colton, you know, there's obviously the Survivor circuit where all these people talk to each other. I think from what I've heard, Rupert has just such a toxic reputation among that group that he's probably going to be a bigger target than Colton is.
See, I think if it was a normal season of Survivor and a normal, returnees versus non-returnees season, so the returnees lose first, I think Rupert goes. But I think it's because of this day one scenario where I think it's going to be like, hey, now this is your new tribe. Returnees here, loved ones over there. And you're voting somebody out. So I don't think there'll be any time to kind of get together and talk. I don't think Colton will have any time to form any alliances other than possibly ones he's already formed from the circuit. I think in that scenario, and your Survivor's kind of looking around, it's like, Colton. You just kind of shrug. It's like, he doesn't contribute around camp. He's not going to help us win challenges. He's a manipulator. Like, there's no reason to keep him around until he becomes part of your alliance, and I don't think he'll have time to do so. Like, I can make an easy argument where Colton isn't the first one voted out in another scenario where he can, because he is enough a social player that he got people to give up immunity to go to tribal council. So
that was amazing.
So I have faith in seeing a scenario where he could do that, but I don't think, because of this twist, I think he's gone day one.
I think it's almost a coin flip between the two. I would lean Rupert. The only thing that would make me think maybe not Rupert is the fact that, he's at least stronger than Colton. He can at least.
I was going to say that you keep Rupert around long enough to help you build your shelter, but then I remembered what he did in All-Stars.
Yes.
It's like, Rupert will kill you if you let him build your shelter.
Yeah. Rupert built a shelter underwater, basically. Below the shoreline.
This is what we have to do. Jerry's such a bitch telling me that we don't want to drown.
Who knew you had such a knack for impressions?
That one is, I think, just a Cookie Monster, and then
mixed with pirate.
So, yes, I think it's, I'm pretty confident it'll be Colton just because of the scenario, but by the end of the episode, one tribe's going to tribal council, and if the returnees lose that one, I think it's Rupert.
All right, now, see, on the other side, I think there's an even clearer pick, and if I'm out there on the island, it's my pick. I'm sending home Rupert's wife right away.
Yes, and now you have a very intriguing strategy reason for this. Go.
Yes. Yeah, my thinking is that Rupert has to live up to his hero reputation that he will talk to anyone who will listen about. So with that Redemption Island twist, he's going to volunteer to take her spot. So you basically get rid of Rupert for free. Either his wife goes or you get rid of Rupert.
Right. And I think that's totally accurate. I mean, we already talked about it. There was an earlier moment in the podcast. But I guess I would say the one thing that works against it is I'm not sure they'll know that Redemption Island even exists when they vote the first time. And then I doubt they'll know that the whole switching twist. And this is just pure speculation, but based on the way that Survivor just loves dropping things on their contestants, I think it'll be like, you're voting. And Jeff will be very careful not to say voting out of the island or out of the game or anything like that.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's like, all right, you guys were voted out of your tribe, but you're not leaving. So then they'll learn about Redemption Island. And then the next episode, they all go to the Redemption Island battle arena. Jeff is going to call it a duel, even though there's going to be 3 people competing.
Yeah. Grammar pedants around the world will just shake their fists at the TV.
Yeah. And then that's when he tells them that you can switch. That said, I think Laura's the first one voted out anyway.
Hey, I was going to go with my backup reasoning, which is that look at all the family members. There's not one of them who's not either young or in shape, except for her.
So again, same scenario. You thought you were just meeting everybody and shaking hands, and now Jeff's like, vote somebody out. So if you're just kind of looking around, like the first reason that always just strikes your head is this person is not going to help us win. She's the obvious candidate. It's just basic demographics. The returnees tribe, as you were saying, it trends pretty young. Because the loved ones. Because the returnees brought daughters, they brought nieces. Nobody brought a parent. Because RC's dad was
basically
too sick.
Yes, but basically you're not looking at the former NFL player and saying that guy.
Yeah, exactly. So they'll just kind of look around at each other. And, if they even know each other's names, it'll be funny if a lot of it's Rupert's wife.
The first 7 votes. Rupert's wife.
Nice lady in the pink. I don't know. Oh, no, in the tie-dye.
The tie. Oh, come on. Of course it's in the tie-dye.
She's wearing it, too. And, she's gone. So, honestly, I don't even have a second candidate.
No, I don't either.
Unless it gets really uncomfortable and they all vote out Jervis's niece. But I don't think it'll go that way.
Yeah, I don't think so either. All right, so let's get to the much more difficult prediction, which is, who do you think can actually win this?
Okay, so I've given this some thought. If I was a Vegas odds maker, I would actually put money on... I'd put the best odds on Aris.
Right.
I think he's the total package. But here's the thing, he's not threatening former winner. And I know in the original All-Star seasons, they kind of targeted former winners. That's why Tina was gone right away and Ethan didn't last very long. But that was kind of a Jenna Lewis thing, for one.
Yes.
But in Heroes vs. Villains, that wasn't really an issue.
No, and I actually don't think it will be this time either.
Yeah. I think what's a bigger issue for a lot of former survivors is who's going to steal my shine. Who's going to take my camera time? And Aris isn't that guy. I mean, he was probably, the 3rd or 4th most featured person in the season he won.
Fair enough. Although you could say the same about Tina.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. That was the Colby show.
Colby, Jerry.
Yeah, exactly.
And Elizabeth, Hasselbeck yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Elizabeth pre-Hasselbeck.
Yes, but back when we liked her. I think I would give Aris the best odds. But here's the thing. Very rarely does best odds guy preseason ever win Survivor.
Yeah, because who was looking at Cochran last time and going, yeah, that's the guy?
Apparently the very first person in the draft that we're going to talk about a little later.
Yeah, we'll get to that one later, but that was a pretty impressive pick.
Yeah, so... Yeah, I think if I had a number 1 pick, I would have taken Aris too, which happened. But
right.
I'm actually convinced that my pick, and maybe it's just because I sold myself really well, but I like Sierra.
Okay.
And before I ever let you make a pick, I guess I'll make my argument for number 2.
Go ahead, because I'm still looking at the list, going, shit, I don't know.
Yeah. So Sierra is the daughter of Laura M., who was in Survivor, the Russell Hantz show, Part 1.
Yes.
Honestly, when the cast was first named, nobody read the loved ones. You just read the returning survivors, and I had no idea who she was, which is really weird for me. I have an unfortunately freakish memory when it comes to Survivor. It's probably the world's most useless skill. But, yeah. And just Laura, I'm like, and then it doesn't help that there's 2 on this season. But when I looked her up, I'm like, oh yeah, she was actually a pretty good game player. I think her and I believe the guy's name was John were kind of the brains of the operation. And then Russell Swan, they just kind of propped up as their fake leader.
Yeah.
Which is why when the 2 tribes merged, Russell Hantz went after her.
Yeah.
Because she was the one that saw through his shit.
Well, and somehow they kept going after Russell and it just didn't work.
Yeah.
But... Let's not rehash the old seasons here.
Yeah.
All right.
So I think Laura will actually be a good player. So why don't I think she will win? It's just simple. She's a mom, and her kid's on the island. And, I mean, your father, if your kid was doing really well, we'd be like, suck it, son, I'm going to win this thing. No, I mean, at some point, Laura is probably, and I think Tina as well, is going to have to damage their own game in favor of their own child's.
You overestimate the compassion I feel for my
kids. That's right. It's like, I've been trying to get on this show forever, kid.
You don't understand. I came here to make friends.
Not family.
Not family. I already made family.
And then Ciara herself just also kind of fits the profile of a lot of winners. She's, young, pretty, and fit, but not too young. She's 24. She's actually lived a bit of a life. She's got a couple kids.
Yeah.
And also, going back to I didn't know who Laura was when they brought it. You got to think maybe the reason why they cast Laura, somebody who even an ardent Survivor fan didn't remember right away, is because they were pretty excited about her kid.
Could be. It could be.
So that's my pick based on having watched one video and read a thing. And here's interesting, actually, when I watched her video with her and her mom, I was like, oh, she's not going to win.
Yeah, doesn't she cry about her kids?
Yeah, she cries about missing her kids and all that. Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm thinking, maybe I'm just overthinking this. Because, if you spend too much time crying about your home life, you never win this game.
Yeah, and she's crying at day 0, which is not a good sign.
I think this is actually pre-day 0, because here's another twist. They're calling the first day 0, where they're not even putting them into tribes. Everybody gets to hang out with their loved ones somewhere on the beach in just 10 pairs of tubes.
Like a really shitty vacation.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's going to be a very fun first half hour or whatever.
Yeah.
They hadn't even started that part and she started crying. So that does have me a little worried, but kind of, I feel like that this is the season that a non-returnee wins. And the first 2 returnee versus non-returnees were blowouts. Just ugly blowouts to the point
where... Yes, they were.
Like, the show didn't even matter until they had gotten rid of... till the merge, or they had gotten rid of the Deadwood on the other side. But, I mean, just look at the physical profiles of these. Like, they got some hosses on that side.
They really do. I mean, it's... if the challenges get physical, it's going to be pretty embarrassing for the returning players.
Yeah, I mean, they'll have, like, the crafty veteran stuff where they know, like, oh, I did this one, you do that and that and that. But, like, there's not a man on the other side that doesn't have abs.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're looking at a former NFL star and then a bunch of guys in their, mid-20s, early 30s.
Yeah, like a farmer.
Yeah, exactly.
Another yoga dude.
Yep.
A doctor that looks like he, basically works out and then does his doctoring.
He actually works out while performing surgery on patients. He's doing curls with one hand. He's got the scalpel in the other. He's a real winner.
All right, so I gave my reasons. Well, who do you think's winning? We're putting it on the record. So the record is I'm voting Ciara.
Okay, and then so you're saying that RS is your backup, basically.
Well, RS I think is the odds-on favorite, but I don't think he wins.
Okay, gotcha. So you're saying no to you're bucking popular opinion here.
I am.
Okay. The only way I can really do this is to go through and say no to the people that I don't think are going to win, and that really eliminates probably 80% of the people.
Yeah.
Because as much as I have a man crush on Tyson, that guy's just never going to win Survivor, and it breaks my heart, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, twice he's been blindsided in pretty embarrassing ways. Now, you'd think that, he's probably learned now. But
no.
It's hard to envision a scenario where Tyson gets in front of a jury and they'll be like, yeah, Tyson.
That guy.
Yeah. And Rob has a podcast. I guess he laid out his plan that he was just going to blow all the money as fast as he could, and he'd tell the final jury that, which is such a Tyson thing.
Oh, Tyson, you've got my vote already, buddy.
Yeah. So here's my Tyson path to victory. I figured it out.
Okay.
Redemption Allen.
Hey, see, he is like a spider monkey in challenges.
Oh, he's an all-around athlete, and he'll tell you that every time that he's on the interview.
The guy does not lack for ego.
God bless him, he doesn't.
He really doesn't. Yeah, he does not. Yeah, and that's the thing, is if they do vote him out, he's going to be a tough out at Redemption Island.
Yeah.
But even still...
And then he doesn't have to worry about getting blindsided again, and he doesn't have to vote people out. So here's what's going to happen. Tyson is going to win the game because of Redemption Island, and you're going to have to decide how you feel about it.
Oh, no. It's like the Sophie's Choice of Redemption Island versus Tyson. Yeah, I don't see it, even in that scenario.
He'll get himself voted out in the final four. Oh, I cast the wrong vote there. They blindsided me.
Part of the deal with Redemption Island is that you're supposed to camp out with the people that are competing with you, and it's just you and a group of, I guess, 2 others that are on this isolated area. That's going to drive Tyson insane. I don't think he makes it.
Imagine Tyson with Rupert.
Exactly.
Now I've signed up. I'm on the Rupert experience just
Now
for that to happen.
Yeah, you're on board.
But
now.
it's not going to happen because Rupert's not going to be there by the time Tyson's on Redemption Island.
So, looking at my list, you know what? I'm kind of on board your returnee or your family member winning idea, just because I look at the returnees and I'm like, nope, 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 nope. And then I'm left with family members, and I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I'm gonna take Caleb.
All right.
Here's my reasoning.
Okay.
I didn't watch his video. I didn't
Because you don't want to see any more Colton, right?
I didn't want to see any more of Colton than I had to.
I think I did. I'm not sure Colton let him speak.
Oh, that would not surprise me. And actually, I think that works in his favor because Colton makes a nice human shield.
Yeah.
Although, my belief is that Colton probably doesn't last long. But here's the one thing that I know about Caleb. Well, 2 things. 1, he is Colton's fiance, which is totally irrelevant. 2, he's apparently a farmer.
Yep.
And a post office manager? I'm just now reading.
Yeah, no, it's both.
Here's
It's a really small
so
town.
much thought I put into this. Yeah. I put so much thought into this that I'm just now reading his profile and saying, oh, he's a post office manager. I'm basing this off the fact that he is a fiance to a survivor savant. Colton already comes in with the hate directed at him. People are familiar with Colton. Caleb's not going to have that baggage. Caleb maybe gets some indirect stuff for being engaged to the guy, but he's going to have that good old boy southern farmer charm. He's going to be like JT, only not as muscular and hopefully not as dumb.
Oh, JT. You went from amazing to stupid in so short a time.
I think JT was always not the brightest one, but
Steven doesn't get enough
still,
credit.
He really doesn't. He carried that guy. But yeah, so I'm going to just, mostly by process of elimination, I'm going to end up with Caleb.
All right.
Because why not?
So here's my concern about Caleb. Colton makes him switch spots at Redemption Island.
Oh, you think?
Can you see a scenario? I mean, I know it's not like Colton to get people to give up immunity, but...
Here's my thinking. Colton is definitely going to end up at Redemption Island at some point.
Probably, within minutes of this being posted to the internet, yeah.
Yeah. It should happen pretty quickly. But I don't know that Caleb's going to volunteer and be like, yeah, I'm going to do it, especially if it's so early in the game.
Yeah.
You
then you have to go on a monster run, only to beat Colton when he gets voted out of the other tribe right away.
Right, exactly. Because, you're basically resigning yourself to ending up in there with him, even if you go on a run. So I'm just going to cross my fingers that he doesn't take the bait and doesn't tag in, if you will.
Yeah, and maybe here's the thing. Colton, the super student of Survivor, realizes he's never going to win Survivor, at least not this quick. He needs to at least do a little bit of reputation massaging before people would ever consider it.
Some redemption, if you will.
Yes. Oh, very nice. Very nicely played. So maybe he knows that his ticket is for Caleb to win.
And here's the flaw in my own argument. I'm going to just go ahead and poke the hole in my argument. I'm a fairly big Survivor fan. So if you put me and my wife on the show, my wife, not a huge Survivor fan. She does not she watches the show with me. I shouldn't say she's not a huge fan. But she would basically get bored of hearing me talk about Survivor. And I imagine that Caleb probably gets bored of hearing Colton talk about Survivor. And so he tunes him out and thus may not have learned any helpful tricks.
See, when you were delivering your Colton theory, I was like, oh, it's perfect. Just like our wives listen to us prattle on. They must be Survivor experts by default.
Exactly. And then I just shot my own theory down. But, that let's just say there's no surefire bets here. RS looks like a strong contender, but that's...
That could be why he can't win.
It's not good to be the front runner. Exactly. Yeah.
One other thing I'll say about Caleb is, and why I worry about the pick, although otherwise he does, if he was just Caleb, post office farmer dude, I'd be all in. Is I'd almost wonder if, just like your Rupert theory, this would be a way of attacking Colton by other means. And maybe, Monica Culpepper's husband, that's right, I'm going to call him her husband. Take that, show. And the other person that was on One World with him, Kat's boyfriend, like, we're going to get rid of that Colton by getting rid of you.
Ooh.
That said, I don't think they'll have to because Colton's getting voted out on day one. So never mind.
Yeah, that's going to happen pretty quickly. All right, so that's it. I mean, I think we got a pretty solid preview of that season. So let's get to the inside baseball stuff.
That's right.
The stuff that everybody wants to hear, at least at the AV Club.
That's right. We'll post a timestamp on there, so because we're only going to get people that were at the AV Club listening to this, and now they've skipped to this moment. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, they just wanted to hear discussion about themselves, so they've
he
jumped
said
in.
little Emma Adderall. Woo!
All right, so just to fill in anybody, which, come on, let's be honest.
Well, our wives.
Nobody's listening.
I'm just
to
kidding.
this.
My wife is never listening to this podcast.
That's a good point. No, my wife will listen to it. She'll get about 7 minutes in, and she'll be like, "I'm bored. I'm going to go do something else."
Oh, that was cute, honey.
Yeah, good for you with your podcast. Basically, last season was the first time that we did a draft. We actually made a Survivor League. We set up the rules. We reward points based on various objective measures, immunity wins, reward wins, idle fines, all that stuff. And then 10 of us went in. We each picked 2 survivors, snake-style draft. We actually, through a clever twist that you thought up, had a fans versus favorites thing going on last year, where the people who weren't able to get into the small league got to enter their own league. And the top 5 in that are now facing off against the top 5 in our original league. And because of that, I'm not in the small league this year.
Yeah, that's what you get for sucking. Malcolm, whoever thought he'd do well.
Yeah, well, we all make our mistakes. Anyway, so this year we've got a group of Count Bulletsula, and this is great because we're naming AV Club screen names. Count Bulletsula, Adam B, Little Emma Adderall, Sheldor Stinson, The Way, M. Ratfink, Robot House, Miss Wooza, you, and Craig.
Craig took a long time coming up with that name, I'm sure.
Yeah, I bet he did. Yeah.
What we don't know is actually his real name, DeBrickashaw.
Oh, man. That would be amazing. That's coincidentally, as an aside, that is my wife's favorite NFL name. Although, I have to say, there's a new guy, Barkevius Mingo, who I think is going to make
rising
a
up
run at
the
that
charts.
DeBrickashaw title. He really is. He's got a good name. All right, so basically, this is our chance to talk some shit. Throw a little trash talk at some competitors in this league. I have no problems doing so because I'm not competing against them, so what do I care? What are they going to do to me?
But aren't you supposed to be the impartial commissioner?
Oh, I'm totally a partial commissioner. I'm the judge.
It keeps it's the joke that keeps working.
It really does. So basically, as of this exact moment as we're recording the podcast, probably 10 minutes before we started, I got some updates, and we made it through the first round of drafting. So everybody's got at least 1 player right now, and 2 of you have 2 players. So we'll just base our analysis of the teams based on who they've got so far.
Yeah, our original plan was we were going to talk about everybody's team, but some people took so long. And this is we're doing this on the Thursday night before Survivor because we actually have lives and jobs and families. So
Speak for yourself.
the only way we could get this posted on time was to do it now.
Yeah. So basically, the draft process via the AV Club's comment system is painfully tedious and slow.
Yeah, next year we got to do it on online live draft. We'll find where they have that on the AV Club or ESPN.
Sadly, just to reveal how sad I am and how little time I actually spend doing real work at work. I already found a site that does that, so I think we'll have a good outlet.
Fantastic.
But let's go into some team breakdown here. First of all, Count Bulletsula picked first. He took Aris. As you said, Aris kind of the odds-on favorite, the guy that a lot of people are expecting to go far in the game. So not a huge shock there. So Aris, not a bad pick. I mean, if you're going number 1 overall, you kind of want the safe pick. You want someone that's going to get you some points.
Yeah, he's like the Adrian Peterson of this draft.
He really is. He's a safe pick.
Nobody else in the AV Club follows sports.
Unless it's baseball. Inexplicably, we've got a lot of baseball fans. Anyway, so yeah, no problems with that pick. If you're going first, I don't blame you for taking Aris there.
Yeah, I mean, basically, I think you either take Aris, maybe Tyson, especially if you just kind of want the one you're going to cheer for, or you try and trade down.
Yeah, which we've learned from last season that trading down is not always the best move.
Well, maybe don't trade that far down.
All right, so second pick, man close to my own heart, Adam B. took Tyson.
Which is nice, because I didn't want Adam B to win twice.
Yeah. Adam B. last season took Cochran first overall, which shocked me at the time, because I remember thinking, based on our scoring system, Cochran's not going to get any challenge wins. I mean, the guy's probably not going to find any immunity idols, so it just seemed like bad pick.
Yeah, it was like, when I read it, like, whoa. I mean, I know he's popular around here because we're dorks, but...
I mean, listen, I love Cochran, and I was going to root for him, but I would have never taken him.
Yeah, I was like, that's a reach.
Yeah.
And so we were clearly wrong, and it shows maybe we shouldn't actually be spending all this time talking about Survivor, because clearly we don't know what we're talking about.
That's a good point, although I have to say that I was happily wrong on that one, because I'm so glad Cochran won last season. Love the guy. He deserved it. Tyson, as your number 2 pick, again, it's hard to argue with that, because the guy's going to rack up some challenge win points.
Yep.
You know.
Here's the other thing. Like, we talk about Tyson as a challenge beast because he is, and he'll, again, mention it a few times. He's actually a decent social player, other than not recognizing when his own head is on the chopping block.
He does have a bit of an issue with keeping his tongue in check when he's not a fan of somebody. That's one of the reasons I love the guy, but, you know.
But, yeah, he gets in with the majority, though. Yeah, like, that's why we don't think he'll win. Because, yeah, if you're not with Tyson, then, yeah, he's just kind of being mean to you.
Yes.
But he was kind of the glue that held that villains alliance together, that once they took him out, they fell apart.
Yeah. Everybody loved Tyson, and then Russell managed to knock him out through Tyson's own ridiculous maneuvers.
Yeah, so the way I see it is, I think Tyson, everybody's going to want to be in... like, on the returnees tribe. They're going to want to be in the alliance with Tyson, because also they'll need him.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, just looking at the roster of the returnees, you really need Tyson.
Yeah, so Tyson and Aris are going to bro up. Or bro down, is that the terminology?
You are asking the wrong man.
And then, yeah, it's going to be like kind of those against, you know, Vetus and Brad Culpepper and Hayden and all those other guys. So he's not going anywhere pre-merge.
Yeah, again, so far, no problems with the picks.
Mm-hmm.
Third pick, Little Emma Adderall took Vetus, which is, I'm assuming, how you pronounce that. Aris's brother. I can see this. I mean, I'm not going to argue too strongly against that. I mean...
Isn't he, like, basically the Union Mexican equivalent of Aris?
Yeah. He is the Senor Spielbergo of this draft. And... probably not a bad pick. I mean, the guy's not going to go home early. He's got an interesting backstory. Apparently he beat a heroin addiction.
Yeah.
So, good for him.
And, like, hopefully not, like, just before he went on the island. Because you didn't watch Panama, but there was actually a dude that just quit smoking that day, and he was like a pack-a-day habit.
Oh, there was a guy on, like... oh, yeah, no, I watched Panama. No, wait.
That's ours.
Which one was it? Okay, no.
Maybe you just heard the legend of Shane.
Philippines, there was a guy who also just quit smoking like the day before. So, although, to be fair, quitting smoking, not quite the same as putting down the smack, you know?
So that's why Vetus is a number 3 pick?
Yeah, he's got a higher degree of difficulty there with his accomplishment. So, again, solid. He's going to get you some points. Can't argue with that. Now, the first one that I looked at and went, oh, this did not go as I expected. Sheldor Stinson takes Jervis.
Yeah, he went off the board on that one.
Yeah. What'd you think about that?
God bless you, because I have the number 9 pick.
Yeah. I mean, I know he's seen every season of Survivor, so he's familiar with Jervis's body of work, or lack thereof. And I don't know. I mean, Jervis, in the initial season of Survivor, you would have assumed he would be a good physical competitor. He can't swim.
Nope. Maybe he's learned.
He could have learned by now. Who knows? And he quite famously intentionally dogged it on a challenge only when he got out of the sight of his teammates.
That was classic.
That was, I actually applaud that move. That was really funny. But I don't know that that's a winner's pick. And as we said earlier, the show's so different now from when he was on.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, no, I shouldn't say this about Sheldor. It's not nice, but it's like you're at the gym, and you're playing some pickup ball. And it's like that guy looks like he can play.
Yeah, exactly.
That might have been the Jervis pick. It's like, Aris and Tyson are already gone from the favorites, we'll call them.
Yeah.
And he was also kind of athletic, even though that was 12 years ago. And
right.
Yeah, he liked to lie around camp. Yeah, look, it was totally give Jervis the benefit of the doubt that he could have changed, but no, I don't like the pick whatsoever.
Yeah.
You gotta love the way.
The way, yeah, I went with Caleb, which
that's right.
Actually made me think, hey, who's Caleb? Because at that time I hadn't even watched, and I still haven't watched the bio video for Colton and Caleb, or read Caleb's biography, as I made clear earlier. But that's where I found out that Caleb's apparently a farmer and may have farmer strength, much like one of the most famous Survivor farmers, Chicken. No thoughts on Chicken?
No, I was also trying to think Ralph.
Oh, Ralph. Good old Ralph.
How would he spell Caleb?
Spelling bee champion. I mean, having picked Caleb as my winner, I feel like I'd be pretty hypocritical to poke holes in that pick.
You suck the way, and get a real name.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
It's number 6, Tina for Mr. Ratfink.
It's just M. Ratfink. There's not Mr.
I'm the guy who couldn't spell Cochran right all of last year.
That's true. You always throw the E at the end.
It's how we spell it in Canada.
Cochran reads the AV Club. You know you were breaking his heart every time you saw that.
Deal with it, Cochran.
He's probably going to be the only listener of this podcast.
Yeah, I'm okay with Tina there. I mean, she's won it before.
That is true. I mean, I think the thing is, if you're taking Tina there, it's the thought that Tina's going to get to the Final Four.
Yeah.
It's not a Tina's going to win me lots of challenge points or anything like that. It's Tina's going to get in on the right alliance, and she's going to ride the wave to the end. Risky, but I mean, you're picking 6th, so you take a swing for the fences,
Yeah, one thing, in the preview videos, Tina and her daughter seem very excited about working with Aris, I believe.
Yes,
so
I did notice that.
Maybe Emrat.
There you go.
He wanted to pick Aris, but he couldn't pick, duplicate Aris. So this was like the other way of picking Aris.
Yeah, and I'm almost positive that that's going to be one of those out-of-the-game alliances that ends up lasting for a while. So,
and
solid
Tina has had success in clinging on to the dominant male player and then winning. So
that is true. All right, after Ratfink's pick was Robot House with Brad. As a sort of erstwhile Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, it's hard for me to say that it's a bad idea to pick a former NFL player, but Brad's kind of a blank slate.
Yeah,
I don't feel like I know much about him other than he played
He's
football.
not Dante Culpepper, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Dante Culpepper, destroyer of fantasy leagues.
I think I won a championship with him, but that's before he signed. Here's my thing. That guy never wins. Every year there's
exactly.
that guy's a Marine, or an ex-athlete.
Yes. Yeah.
I think it's a couple things. They're a huge target, and that's just obvious. And I think they're just used to more rigid structures and can't deal with the nitwits that they need to be around.
I honestly see Brad following approximately the Jeff Kent path of, he makes it...
Thanks, Obama.
Yeah, well, not to the letter. But, he makes it, post-merge, probably not very far after that, though.
All right, and then Ms. Wooza, Monica.
Ms. Wooza. Takes Brad's better half.
Sure.
And here's what I remember about Monica from One World. She is very well endowed.
Yes, all natural.
And she is apparently married to an NFL player.
That's right. That was her occupation.
That is correct.
Let's take it aside here. How disappointing is it that they got a former Survivor married to an NFL player, and it's freaking Monica Culpepper.
I know. Oh,
Are we the only people that remember Taj?
I was all aboard the Taj bandwagon.
When they announced that it was going to be family members, at first we were like, frick, the goddamn Hanses are coming back. But then we were like, woo, Robin, Nicole, Taj and Eddie George.
Exactly.
Hey, interestingly enough, Eddie George also led me to a fantasy football championship.
Oh, we're really alienating the audience here.
Yes, because here's the actual truth. There's no aspect of somebody else's fantasy football team that is interestingly enough.
Yeah, nobody cares about your fantasy football team.
But Fantasy Survivor League, hot stuff.
Oh, everybody's on board with that.
So yeah, I'm not in love with the Monica. Well, okay, I should say I'm kind of in love with the Monica pick because I had the very next pick. But if I were drafting there, no. I think Monica is pre-merge boot.
All right, so yeah, you were next on the board, and you took Hayden.
Yes.
Just justify your pick.
I'm a huge Big Brother fan, despite everything else I've said here. No.
Yeah,
so Hayden Moss apparently was not only on Big Brother, but he won it. I'm bringing this back to our intro. That's interesting. I don't know much about the guy, but here's the thing. I think he's the reason why him and his pairing are on the show. I think they probably saw something, and they have plenty of footage to have seen over there on CBS. There's like, I think this guy's going to be good. And they were like, oh, look at that. And he's been dating Kat for, who knows, a couple weeks. I don't even know how long they've been together.
Oh, you don't think they were just clamoring to get Kat back on the show?
I don't. I mean, look, any young, pretty thing always has a shot at coming back on Survivor. If you look at the kind of the returnees, it's like, really, her? Usually the dividing line is they look good in a bikini.
Yeah.
So yeah. But she's not even the best looking bikini wearer of her season.
Exactly.
I'm not sure she was in the top 3.
Agreed.
So no, I don't think they were like, oh, let's get Kat back, and sure, we'll drag along her boyfriend. I think it was like hey, that guy was pretty cool, and I think he'll be really great on our show, and Kat's the entryway.
Sure, why not?
I didn't mean that in a sexual way.
So I will say, I can't nitpick too much on this because for where you're picking, not a bad shot.
Yeah, and that was the other thing. I mean, if I would have picked earlier, I would have picked some of these people. I mean, not Jarvis, but I would have looked at some of them. But at the end of the draft, I think now there was no value in the returnees. And now I'm really talking draft geek strategy here.
Oh, yeah.
So my thinking was I was going to find value on the other side of the aisle, and I doubled up on left ones.
I should warn you, that's approximately the strategy I used last time, where I was like, well, Malcolm won't win, but he'll get me lots of points. And now I'm out of the league. So just take that into consideration.
Who was your other pick besides Malcolm?
One of the nameless pretty girls.
Oh, yeah.
The fodder tribe.
Speaking of faceless pretty girls, we got Craig's picks. That didn't work.
That is a clever segue because Craig,
Team Boneham,
he doubled down. He took both members of Team Tie-Dye.
Yeah, I think Craig isn't really interested in watching this season very much. He's like, I'm out. Because if you and I are correct about how we think, I think Craig could be done episode 1.
You know what? I think we actually had I and One last season managed to get out by, I think that, was it the 3rd episode?
Yeah.
I think Craig saw that and was like, you know what? I'm taking a run at that record.
That's right.
Yeah. So, all right.
So when Craig gets eliminated, I think we should say that he has to change his name to Francesco. But yes, we do not think highly of those. And it's like, he's like, I'm going to stick to a theme, and it looks like he's already regretting it. But it's like, there are actually other pairings still available.
There were full teams still left. All right. So anyway, after he took Team Tie-Dye, which obviously neither of us support, it was your turn again.
That's right.
You took Sierra, your go-to pick for winning it all.
That's right. My pick to win it. And
yeah.
I mean, obviously that became my pick to win it after all these other people weren't available. But right. No, actually, I started giving it some thought, and it's not the person you think is going to win, unless you happen to be Adam B and you think Cochran's going to win.
Yeah.
And yeah, women do well, so that's what I liked. And the reason why I didn't pick her at 9 is just I didn't think Craig would. It turns out he wasn't going to pick out anybody worth picking. I probably would have thought that. But.
Pretty much all your picks were safe there.
That's right. It was actually interesting because once I looked I was at number 9, these were kind of 2 of the people I had circled in my head.
Yeah.
So
not a bad haul for you.
I don't need to trade up. So yeah, I obviously think highly of myself because I am Tyson-esque.
Yes.
What would you say about my team?
I gotta say, having not seen how the rest of these rosters fill out, I like what you've got so far.
Well, clearly, if the draft were to end today, I would clean up this season.
Okay.
With the only person that will have 2 people at the end of episode 1.
That is right. Obviously, RS as that first pick. The problem is you've got RS, but then you're getting the last pick, which, let's be honest, who is it?
It's Colton.
It's Colton.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now, here's the thing. If we haven't fixed our scoring system, it doesn't matter. Compostela will win with 1 player.
That's a good point, because last year Cochran scored so many points in the finale that he would have won the season by himself.
It was the final round of Family Feud. And now we are tripling the points, rendering everything we've done useless.
We've tried to error correct this year, so hopefully we're good. Yeah, and I think obviously I'm going to be pulling for Tyson. I don't know who he could possibly end up with. Adam B could end up with that's going to make a good pairing for Tyson at that point.
Well, he's already not getting Rupert, so score.
Yeah. Lucky him. And Monica and Brad already got swooped out, so, I kind of feel like he ends up with Jervis's niece. So
all right.
I don't think that's going to be a good pairing.
So in the pick 4 game, who did you go with?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot. I don't even know. I will say I took Tyson. I just know that.
Well, with 4 picks, why not? He's going to get
exactly. Not only that, but I was like, well, look, I want to root for the guy. I'm going to put him on my team. Last season, I put Cochran on my pick 4 team. It worked out well. It was one of my only pick 4 picks that worked out well. So
how did you have Cochran and not finish in the top? Oh wait, everyone had Cochran.
Everyone had Cochran. I think we might be the only comment section on the internet where it's so overwhelmingly pro Cochran that you were an outsider if you didn't draft Cochran. So, but yeah, looking at the others, Sheldor not a solid start, so I don't know how well he's going to finish. We really need to, if we do a follow-up podcast, we need to bring Sheldor on and have him defend that pick.
That's right.
I really think the draft went off the rails there.
You hear that, Sheldor? We're calling you out. Were you just on auto draft or?
Yeah, exactly. Like if we're running an actual fantasy football draft, that's the point where someone says like, "Oh, he's still in the league." Like, that wasn't what you're expecting with the number 4 pick. So, yeah. Beyond that, I guess we'll have to see how everybody else's roster shakes out.
That's right. Let's see what Ms. Wooza does.
Yes.
I'm hoping she picks Kat. You want to know why?
Why is that?
Because Kat is doomed and she's not going to win.
That is a good point.
See, all right, so I'm just going to get that one theory, even though we said we weren't going to talk about every survivor, and here we are talking about every survivor.
Right.
It goes back to demographic.
Uh-huh.
While the loved ones tribe is mostly young, the returnees tribe is not. Only Kat and Colton are under the age of 30, and they're 20 and 21, which is way under the age of 30.
Yes, and as I know from interacting with people who are under 21 or under 23, let's say, cough, cough, little Emma, those people can be annoying.
They suck, is the thing.
Yeah, they're terrible. There's a reason that they have to pay extra to rent a car.
Nice. We're going deep. But yeah, and it's not like Kat proved herself like a remarkably mature young woman who would be a delight to converse with. No, she's going to annoy the old people. Tina and the other old people, they're not going to want to be around her. Do you see Tyson wanting to hang out with Kat?
The only reason you keep Kat around is because she's not very bright, and you can use her as a free boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's also the one that decided to use her reward trip to just hang out with the young people because it'd be more fun.
Yes.
Now, so look, granted that was a whole year ago, so I'm sure she's matured since then.
Hey, people do a lot of growing in a year. I mean, that's what they say at their final tribal speech, so you know it must be true.
That's right. She grew up so much that she's now dating another reality show player.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think she's just doomed. I mean, not as doomed as, say, Colton or Craig, but...
Team tie-dye.
Yeah, it's half of the tribe is over 40 years old.
Yeah.
And that's just a big part of Survivor that a lot of people don't think about, and why, you know, somebody might suck when they come one time and then they come back and they're great. Sometimes this is all about the tribe you land on.
It really is. Boston Rob can explain that whole entire theory to you.
All right, so good luck to everybody else in the draft, but not really. I'm going to win this one. I was robbed last year. I had 2 people for almost the entire game, and then poof.
Oh, that's right. You lost them both in the same episode.
That's right. And now Craig will
terrible.
suffer the same fate.
Yes, he will, but much, much earlier in the season. I will say before we end this topic, I kind of like the M. Ratfink pick there. If he can get someone decent to pair with Tina that can rack him up some points, I think he's going to clinch top 5.
And here's a question. If you're M. Ratfink and you have the option, do you draft Tina's daughter?
Ooh. It's really going to depend on who's available there.
Right. But let's assume, I think there's only one male left from the returnees tribe, the doctor guy.
Yeah.
So let's assume he's gone.
I don't think we do. I don't think if you've got Tina, you don't want to handcuff the daughter pick there.
There, nice.
Just because one of those two probably goes far. So you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, like let's say Craig.
So why do you think nobody's gone after the Woodcocks? They're both young and very fit. They're doctors. That suggests some level of intelligence, maybe?
Well,
yeah.
We don't know what kind of doctor. Maybe a doctor of history.
Doctorate of reading.
Exactly. Here's why I don't think Candace went. I initially took Candace for my pick 4 team, and then someone reminded me of who Candace was. and then I said, oh, that's right, Candace. And immediately changed my pick. Candace was, and you can correct me if my Survivor history is wrong here, she was the one who basically screwed Penner's season, his first season, by mutinying. Wow, that's an odd verb.
It's a verb now.
Yeah, it is. Alongside him. She came back, and I totally forgot that she had even come back. That's how memorable she was.
It's unbelievable that Candace Woodcock is a 3-time survivor.
It really is.
It was unbelievable when she was a 2-time survivor.
Yeah. So, Candace, I'll be kind of impressed if she makes the merge, I'll put it that way.
Yeah, so she's a serial betrayer is the thing. So, yeah, I don't believe in Candace either. I just wanted to get your thoughts other than, really? Candace?
Yeah.
Candace. I mean, look, she's not unattractive, so as I said, anyone that looks like good in a bikini could come back. But a 3rd time?
Yeah.
And the reason why she's back is she was an alternate.
Exactly, yes.
Probably not only just like the female alternate, but they needed a female alternate with a male loved one.
Yes.
So
And,
any other female-female pairings that were there wasn't going to work out.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't see good things for her. Maybe her doctor husband could do well. I mean, he's kind of one of the pack of abs they got over there.
Yeah. I don't see it in him, though, either.
Nah.
Actually, I did watch their interview, and not impressed by either of them.
No, they seem a little jumpy, which, I mean, is a signature of her game, that she's ready to make a move. Now, here's one thing, another reason why I wanted to bring up Candace. What if there's a mutiny this season?
Oh, wouldn't that be amazing?
Well, wouldn't this be the format to do it, right? Hey, if anybody would like to go to another tribe that, you know, your loved one is sitting right over there.
Uh-huh.
Step off now.
Yeah. It would be a fun twist. I mean, we already know that there's enough twists as it is. Wouldn't shock me if they did something similar to that. The mutiny thing, though, is a weird twist only because it's inexplicably it actually worked when they tried it, but you wouldn't think that anyone would ever say, like, yeah, I'm going to do that, because you're instantly in the minority in the new tribe that you jump to, unless you just happen to have some, connection with that tribe already.
Which Candace did.
Yes, right.
But yeah, I know, it's just one of those things that Survivor likes to do every once in a while. It's like, we're going to try and get you to screw yourself over. Who will take the bait?
And she did.
Now, what would be great is if they offered the mutiny in kind of the same style, 3, 2, 1, you got to step off, and like 2 people from the survivor and the loved one both step off, and then they have to swap.
They just switch tribe. Yeah.
All right, so that is the podcast, I believe. Anything else you want to say?
No, I'm good. We did a very thorough preview here.
That's right. So I'm ready. Let's get this season started.
Yeah, and then maybe next time we invite one of our fellow AV Club Survivor Leaguers on.
So here's what we're going to do. If you are hearing this now, you're probably the only one. So comment I heard it, and I would love to be on your podcast.
Yes.
And then should we leave them? Really, come on. It's going to be the AV Club.
Yeah.
And there'll be links there, and we'll put it out other places.
Yes.
Wherever we are brave enough to admit that we have done this.
Exactly. We'll hide our shame in various corners of the internet for you to find.
All right. So thank you for listening, all of you, and hopefully you won't pick the purple rock.